The three basic 3D geometry types are your surface, which essentially is kind of like you think of it as a polygon in space, but it actually has a side to it, and it's got a I guess a 3D-ness to it. We have a front side, a back side, and an orientation in space. We have meshes, which are kind of a simplified representation of a surface made up of points and triangles, and then we have solids, which are true 3D objects. They have an inside and an outside. Now, we're going to start with the surface. The surface, we have several types of surfaces. The face is your basic 3D unit. You can group together faces into composite surfaces and multi-surfaces. And the difference between the two is a composite surface is the faces have to be connected to each other, and they also have to have a consistent front and back direction on the faces. And that's going to come into a little bit more importance when we deal with solids. Multi-surfaces are a little bit more loosey-goosey. They don't care. The faces can point one way or the other. It's pretty much just an aggregate of a bunch of faces. So I'm just going to point out the different types of surfaces we have and what they look like. So we have a couple of pretty medallions. One of them is multi, one of them is composite. So we'll look at the composite first. And if I click on it, now this is your best buddy and pal when it comes to 3D geometry, is the data inspector and the feature information window. Because in here we can see the entire hierarchy of the feature. So we have a composite surface here. It's got a sidedness. This one's two-sided. It can be single-sided as well. You've got front appearances, back appearances. In this case, they're inherited. You have the appearance references on each face. Oh, sorry, missed a spot there. The composite surface is made up of faces. So we have a face here. We have a face there, we have a face there. Inside these faces, you have geometry traits, you have the sidedness of the face, you have appearance references on the face, and then you have the bounds of the faces made by an FME polygon. And on the face bounds, or on the boundary polygon, you have some interesting measures on here, FME texture coordinate U, V, and Q, and we'll get into what those are later. But that gives you the texture coordinates. So you can really dig down and see everything you need to know about your 3D feature here. Now, imagining that I really don't know much about this, appearance is basically like an image or the color or the texture. Yeah, we're going to get into that later. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically what makes the face, it gives it some color. Right, so and then you get, so what I really can take from this is that even though this is a moderately simple looking type of object, it is pretty complex. Yeah. There's lots of pieces brought together and they're structured in a way that ends up creating what we're seeing. But it's not simple. It's not. This isn't your grandpa's old logging road CAD line. No. There's like I said, there's a complex hierarchy involved, and that's the key to a lot of 3D stuff is hierarchy, and we'll see this as well. So here I have just a simple multi-surface, which is essentially two of these previous composite surfaces stuffed together into an aggregate. Right. Now think about multi-surfaces. Unlike the composite surface where everything has to form sort of a whole, multi-surface can be any old faces here, there, everywhere. Okay. So again, just for the folks back at home, if they aren't familiar with FME, when you started this process, you used FME Workbench, which is the other tool there. Yeah. You can just bring it up for a sec. There's Workbench. And that you were reading from SketchUp here. Is that what you were doing? No, this is just this FFS file. Yeah. I had to tweak this a little bit to get it into the format. Got it. So it was, at one point, this must have been SketchUp because I saw those traits on there. Yeah. But you moved it to the FME kind of optimized internal format called FFS. Yeah. And then normally people create their workflows in Workbench, and Dave's going to be digging into that with kind of where data is coming from on the left and the blue things on the right, what happens to that data on the way by. And then in this case, you were just popping up our inspection tool, but often you would be writing to say 3D PDF or 3JS or something on the right-hand side. Exactly.